Hello, I'm Tom Cooper, co-founder of Boosterville, and I'm here to show you how we have reinvented school fundraising. Each year, a school will raise between $10,000 and $20,000 from 3 to 5 fundraising activities. And the dominant fundraising activity is brochure sales of crap that no one wants and no one needs, but we do it because of the children. The Association of Fundraising Distributors and Suppliers reported that last year, $1.4 billion were raised for schools by children selling $3.5 billion of crappy wrapping paper, stale nuts, and cookie dough. Okay? And 80% of those purchases come right out of the pockets of the parents and family members of the children. And those parents, 2/3 of them, take that crap with them to work. School fundraising sucks, and this in itself would be worth a solution, but it's worse than that. Because of that $3.5 billion, none of it went to local businesses in your community. And the Wells Fargo Gallup poll Small Business Index has found that 90% of all of these businesses want to help charitable causes. These are the same businesses that are hit up year in and year out for donations of money, product, and team sponsorships. But when it comes to school fundraising, they are completely cut out. School fundraising sucks, but Boosterville has solved this. We have found that the money needed for school fundraising already exists in the community. Each time someone makes a purchase with a credit card with a local merchant, 3% of that merchant's revenue goes to the credit card processing fees. Businesses such as restaurants are on such razor thread budgets that sometimes they pay more in credit card processing than they do in rent. And the businesses that we actually interviewed are jumping at the opportunity of not paying that money to credit cards and are willing to use that for funding local charities and schools. Ben Smith of the Tsunami restaurant here in Cooper Young said that he would rather flush that 3% down the toilet than give it to the big banks. So there's a big movement with this, and Boosterville has solved this. We have partnered local school fundraising with local businesses by taking the funds that would typically go to credit card processing and use it for fundraising. Let me show you how simple this is. Once a supporter has activated their account on the Boosterville network, it's very simple for them to add money on their physical phone by selecting an existing, already associated bank account. Once that money is on the phone, then we direct them to all of the physical locations of merchants in the neighborhood that are participating in the Boosterville program. We even show them the physical location of where that business is because we want them to go there. These businesses can be anything from a pet store to a bookstore to a restaurant. They are businesses that the supporters know. When it comes time to make a payment for that goods and service, again, the supporter uses their phone and enters in the information. And if it's a restaurant, they enter information such as a check number, the tip, the total amount, and then when they finally enter in their private, personal information number, the transaction is captured in Boosterville. We will immediately capture 3% of that purchase and then send the remaining 97% directly to the merchant. Now, it's just as simple for the merchant to use our application because when they launch the mobile app, we present to them the payment registry, which shows all of the current payments that they're immediately receiving, identifying the check number, the total amount, and even the name of the person that made that purchase. They can even drill into the detail and see the information about the tip, the amount that, and the comments, especially the comments. Now, everyone in the community benefits from Boosterville. Merchants get the new revenue and customers that they need with no additional cost. Parents and supporters buy the products that they want and use, and schools get the money that they need. And best of all, no more selling crappy wrapping paper, stale nuts, and cookie dough. Our primary competition comes from those 600 members of the Association of Fundraising Distributors and Suppliers. They want to keep it the same way it's been for the last 60 years. We also have competition for companies like Cambit, which you go online, purchase national brand names, and then carry your voucher. We also have in-store credit cards where you make a purchase at a store using their credit card, money goes back to the school. There's even one that's bringing a Groupon-like plan to school fundraising, but it requires the school to go out and make that deal with that merchant, which is typically a discounted deal, just like it is with Groupon. Boosterville is the only one that's partnering local businesses with school fundraising. We provide free communications platform for both the merchant and the schools, and best of all, we have a new payment platform that allows us to capture that 3% and give it to school fundraising. It's important when we're bringing this solution to market that we get to the decision makers. And the decision makers at the schools are divided between those at the K through 8 schools and high schools. K through 8 are associated with the physical schools. So we will be using channels such as the National PTA and state PTA organizations to get to the decision makers at the physical buildings. Now, when children move to high school, fundraising is associated with their extracurricular activities such as sports and performing arts. So we will be using organizations such as Music for All and for U.S. Lacrosse, which will get us to club sports and sports associated with high schools. Now for businesses, it's just the same way. We will be using national and state organizations giving us access to merchants such as restaurants, as well as franchises that have local ownerships. But the best yet is empowering the supporters of the schools so that at the time they're making a purchase at a merchant, to encourage that merchant to be a participant in Boosterville. So we provide information right there on their phone to encourage that participation. Again, our business model is very simple. The money needed for school fundraising already exists. We don't have to raise anything, we just use the money that's there. That 3% is captured and 97% stays with the merchants. Now, if we take a simple school that has 300 to 500 students that would typically have around 300 supporters, with Boosterville, we will direct $250 of their intentional monthly purchases to local merchants, which will generate $75,000 of purchases. And that will ultimately generate $1,500 for that school and $750 for Boosterville. Now, on an annual basis, that's $900,000 of purchases. $18,000 for the school and $9,000 for Boosterville. Now, we're going to be onboarding schools like 10 per month. So let's look at 100 schools and see what that would look like. So by just adding some zeros, you'll see that that's $90 million in purchases, $1.8 million raised in school fundraising, and $900,000 for Boosterville. This is great, but it's even better than that because in the United States alone, there are over 132,000 schools each fundraising. That means the total available market for Boosterville is $1.2 billion from school fundraising. And what tops that is that this platform will work for any organization that needs to raise funds, not just schools. The team members that bring you Boosterville are made up of Pam Cooper, Hank Dragoo, and myself. Pam is our domain expert. She has 22 years of business ownership, been there, hit up day in and day out for handouts for school fundraising. She's also a past president of a national franchise owners organization and is a board member of the largest, most prestigious school foundation in the state of Indiana. Hank Dragoo has been in the trenches with school fundraising, but he also has 28 years of marketing experience, delivering successful marketing campaigns for brand names such as Simon Property Groups, Nutrisystems, and Girls Inc. I, Tom Cooper, I am the technical lead. I have over 30 years of software engineering experience. I'm listed as inventor on 5 issued patents, 32 patent applications, 2 of those being for Boosterville. I've been there. I've done that. I was the founding CTO of Cha-Cha. I've delivered the technological magic for other entrepreneurs, and now I'm doing that for Boosterville. We have a strong advisory team. Paul DeLacy gives us that big picture image to make sure that we don't lose fact that this is a big opportunity. Jenny Hacker gives us access to her networks at the state and national level for school fundraising. And then Mark Sherry has been there, done that. He gives us that experience of knowing what it takes to take an idea and make it a product. Before starting the Seed Hatchery program, we had an original idea and a patent application. Since starting Seed Hatchery, we found our first merchant, brought on our first school, Peabody Elementary School. We've acquired $10,000 of additional funding and have launched our beta. Right now, we have 6 businesses, 5 schools, and 1 additional nonprofit. But I'm proud to say that we've started discussions with St. Jude's Hospital for raising funds for them. We also have a partnership with Project Green Fork. We brought on 5 of the restaurants. We'll be bringing on an additional 12 by the end of this month, and then eventually we'll expand into all 55 restaurants here in Memphis. We also have a partnership with the North Central Division of the Ohio Schoolgirls Lacrosse Association. We will be bringing on their 23 schools and then eventually expanding that into all 105 schools in the state of Ohio. We've hired our first success agent in Illinois. She's a retired band director. She has access to 16 contiguous counties and 65 schools. Additionally, we are a gold level sponsor of the National PTA Association Conference in June, and we're going to be building our pipeline. And with that pipeline and your $400,000 investment, we will convert that relationship to a partnership where we will be the fundraising platform for the National PTA and Schools for All, giving us access to 25,000 PTA organizations and over 400,000 musicians and band directors and orchestra directors in the United States. We're also going to be expanding our customer success agents into 10 strategic cities and 30 rural communities, growing that up to 100 schools, 2,000 businesses, and over $720,000 in revenue in 1 year. We want you to join us in this endeavor to transform school fundraising, knowing that the money for school fundraising already exists. Help us transform a community, helping it sell local, buy local, and boost local. Thank you.